Well, good evening and welcome to Sell Your Own Product on Amazon for Income and Lifestyle with the emphasis on lifestyle. We just welcome you tonight. We're going to have a good time. Tonight, we're going to talk about how to get your product from China to Amazon. Before I got to, I just like to extend some sympathy to one of our course members who's a member of the course. Linda told lost her father today, so we just ask you to keep Linda and her family in your prayers and just be with them. As they go through this sad time. So dads are special, and what can I say? I lost mine a few years ago, and I just know dads are special. So my heart goes out to Linda and her family, and just ask you to be with her and bless them. So, with that being said, what we're going to talk about tonight is how to get you. Oh, one more thing I forgot to add is any of you who followed along with me and know that this course was originally supposed to be put on the Totalpreneur Network. It's a new network coming out with courses and everything, and it was supposed to be out in November, then December. And anyway, it's just now getting going and everything because there's been a lot of problems along the way, and they're getting worked out. And it's really going to be a great network when it gets going. So we hope, and next week, because of that, they promised me last night that we're going to have some special links, and we're going to do some neat stuff next week. So just if you can, bear with me and be with us next week because it's going to be kind of special, and I think you'll find it be well worth your time. But anyway, what we're going to talk tonight is how to get your product from China, and it doesn't necessarily be China. It might be Vietnam, it might be India, anywhere overseas to Amazon FBA. As you know, I kind of watch some of the different forums on Facebook and different places they are, Google Hangouts and that, and listen to what people are talking about. And there's a lot of garbage going on and nonsense out there about what you have to do. And so to get your product from China to Amazon. And so the majority of this we're going to talk tonight is we're going to presume that it's a heavier object, but we'll go through the whole thing. I prepared a PowerPoint presentation like usual, and we'll start with that. We'll go through that, and then I will over here on the right, yes, over here. There's a question and answer thing. Now I'm going to tell you, when I'm doing the PowerPoint, I cannot see the question and answer, so I won't be able to answer any questions until after the PowerPoint's done and I shut it off, because then and only then will I be able to see the question and answer. So so bear with us, and if you get your questions, we're going to have a good time tonight. I'm going to start. Let's go over here to the PowerPoint. We're going to hit the screen share button, bring it up here right now, and we'll be there in just a second. And if you excuse me, I was babysitting my grandkids earlier in the week, and somehow I've gotten like a part of a cold or something that's going down, so I'm losing my voice, and hopefully it'll hang out till we get done here tonight. My wife gave me a couple of vitamin C pills and patted me on the butt, and she said I should be all right. So with that being said, we hope you get it. So what we're going to talk tonight is how to get your product from China to Amazon FBA. Now, like I say, most of this is going to, well, it pertains to smaller items too, but most of this, if you're going to do it on a boat, you're going to send your product on a boat from. So this is and what we're going to talk about is what Amazon says. So so without that said, so who can import goods? Okay, and this is stuff that I've taken right off of Amazon's website. So just bear with me if it seems a little bit rich. It's there for a reason, and I want you to understand this. Who can import goods? An importer of record. An IOR is required for merchandise entering the United States. The IOR, the importer of record, is responsible for ensuring the imported goods comply with local laws and regulations. Number two, the importer, the IOR, fills out a completed duty entry and associated documents, all those. And three, paying the assessed import duties and other taxes on those goods. Now, that's what an importer of record is, and that's what you're going to have to be if you're going to bring those products in. You're going to hopefully you're going to work with a customs agent and all that, but that's what you have to do. So one more time, you bring those through. and you have to pay the fine. I mean, not the fine. You have to just pay any duties and all that. And that's one of the things you need to check before you place an order and make sure there's no uh, special duty on what you're going to import, because there's some categories and it's or some items that are protected, and they charge a higher duty on those. So you want to make sure that you go, whoever your customs agent is, or your you want to make sure you go through that before you ever commit to the product, that they're not going to have a special tax on that, because it can really get expensive. I know a few months ago there was a question on one of the forums, and somebody had got it in and they sent their stuff through, and there wasn't a declaration saying that they had permission to sell that product in the United States, and it was stopped at customs and they didn't get through. And so this is all important. That's why I really say, rather than do it yourself, if you can swing the customs agent, and we're going to talk about that in a few minutes, you're a lot better off. So what does Amazon say? Amazon, including our fulfillment centers, will not act as an importer of record for any shipment of FBA inventory. This applies to shipments of any size or value, regardless of origin and product. So what are they saying? They're saying that flat out, they will not be the importer of record. You're going to have to be the importer of record, and they're going to be the ultimate consignee, but you're going to be the importer of record. So just bear that in mind, and listen to that, and remember that you're going to have to be the importer of record. Well, let me see. Wait. All right, let's go. I'm sorry, I went the wrong way. So Amazon says, continue. Amazon will not be responsible for or collect any duties, taxes, or shipping costs associated with FBA inventory. Our shipments are required to use delivery duty paid. In other words, everything's paid when they come to Amazon, or sometimes referred to as free domicile. Shipping term: any shipment arriving at an Amazon fulfillment center with collect charges, including any duties, taxes, or shipping costs, will be refused without further concession. So one more time, you want to make sure that you've got your T's crossed and your I's dotted when you're sending it, because if they don't, they're going to ship it, they're going to send it right out, they're going to refuse it, and then you're going to end up paying extra shipping costs to get it shipped somewhere, to get the matter settled and all that. So you really want to think once, twice, maybe 5 times. I think a lot about using what Amazon says. We're going to get into this in just a minute, because Amazon's got some recommended people to use, and believe me, I think it'd be well worth your using. So we're going to go on to that. So what will Amazon do? An Amazon fulfillment center may be listed as to the delivery to party on your shipping documentation. So here's an example right from Amazon's thing that I wrote down here that should appear in the shipping. Example 1, Amazon.com, KYDC, then your seller legal name. Like it'd be my, yours, or whatever your seller legal name is, care of FBA 1850 Mercer Drive, Lexington, Kentucky. That's if you're going to Lexington, Kentucky, that warehouse. You're going to know when you list your product, not when you list your product, but when you fill out the thing to send your product to Amazon, they're going to tell you what fulfillment center to send it to, and that's where you got to put that fulfillment center on there. So like I say, your customs agents will take care of that, but if you've got to do it, make absolutely sure that it's there, because it's crucial. If it's not, your product's not going to end up in the right place. And then so what exactly is a custom broker? Custom brokers are private individuals or firms licensed by the U.S. Customs and Border Protection Agency to prepare and file the necessary customs entries, arrange for the payment of duties owed, and arrange for the release goods from CBP custody, and otherwise represent importers in customs matters. In other words, a custom broker is almost like a lawyer. They're going to represent you. As you're going to see here, you're going to have to give them wait on the next page. It's saying right here. You have to give them a power of attorney. What am I trying to say? I'm sorry, but you're going to have to give them a power of attorney. So one more time, customs brokers are private individual firms licensed by U.S. Customs or Border Protection to prepare and file the necessary customs entries, arrange for the payment of duties owed, arrange for the release goods from CBP custody, and otherwise represent importers in custom matters. So in other words, they're going to take over. Now, this is from Amazon. Everything you saw so far is right from Amazon's website, and that's the reason I want you to get into this, because this is what Amazon said. Now, Amazon has a list of custom brokers, and I put that word recommended in there, and I don't know if Amazon would really say that recommend. They just say here's a list of custom brokers, and of course, if you're going to go by air, you've got FedEx, you've got UPS, and DHL. Those are the ones. Now, I know before you hit me that there's other companies out there that will do the same thing. But I'm telling you, this is who Amazon recommends. This is who Amazon says knows their way. And like I say, if you go someplace else, you can. There's no problem. That's up to you. But these are the ones that Amazon recognizes as no one works with Amazon. They know Amazon's procedures, and you're not going to have any protection. You go to somebody else, and you're on your own. Just do your due diligence. That's all I can say. Now, the last two down here are mainly for people, for exporters, when you're going to export products that are heavy, that have to come by boat. The first one is Expeditors International, and there's a website. And then the other one is Samuel Shapiro, W. Shapiro Comp. And this is Amazon. This is, like I say, this is taken right from Amazon. We suggest you contact your freight forwarder or courier in advance of shipping any inventory in order to understand their fees and requirements. Yes, in other words, when you make your final arrangement with your manufacturer, I know that you're ready to get going. But boy, before you sign the agreement, sign on the dotted lines and say, yeah, I'm going to take 1,000 of this or 200 or whatever it is, then you get with your customs broker and you find out exactly what it's going to cost you. You find out whether that product is not I don't mean to say it's not a gated. Amazon has gated, but there's certain products that have higher customs than others because they're protected products by the U.S. Customs Department. In other words, it's products that they protect, so they put a higher premium on those products that are coming in, and you don't want to get hit with that because that'll knock your profit, that'll knock everything way out of whack. So don't take your manufacturer's word for it. You find out from whoever your customs agent is going to be, find out and get an exact dollar and cents, and they'll stick to it. They have to. They'll give you a $.cents quote for what it's going to cost you to bring that product in and to get it to Amazon, because that's what they do. And you want to make darn sure you understand that. So one more time. Now let me talk a little bit about, there's two on there, Expeditors International and Samuel Shapiro. Now, everything I'm going to tell you from here on, I'm going to tell you, I have an account with Samuel Shapiro. I've had that account for 3-4 years, and I'm going to tell you some stuff about Shapiro. 2-3 years ago, maybe 3-4 years ago, Samuel Shapiro was the only one that Amazon recommended. And at that point, Shapiro, I don't know whether they lost some employees or exactly what they did, but when I first started, I had to contact them maybe 5-6 times to even get them to respond because they were so busy and they were way behind the eight ball. And I really think that's the one reason for Amazon to brought this Expeditors International in there, because Samuel Shapiro had they just couldn't keep up with their work. And so that was a few years ago, and the last times I've used them, with the last year or so, they're fine. So, but I just want you, there was problems with it, and so I think that's right. And I'll be honest with you, I have never used the Expeditors International. If anybody's on here tonight that has used those, why, I hope you'll put something in the good or bad mark or something like that in the question is answers, and so we can all share from that. I've never used Expeditors, so I'm not going to tell you good thing or bad, but I know that if Amazon recommends them, I would think they've got to be fairly good. So that's all I say. And there's my phone, so my wife will get that again. So and like I say, this is Amazon. We suggest you contact your freight forwarder or courier in advance of shipping any inventory in order to understand the fees and requirements. Get that down. Get that down, because they'll stick to that. The only difference is when they actually take control, they're going to reweigh and they're going to reweigh and remeasure to make sure everything is right. And as long as you tell them what's right, you're going to be spot on the costs, and there's no surprises. So so let's go on here a little bit. So this is www.shapiro.com, and then there, if you want their that's their website. And if you want to get a hold of them, there's their email, fbaadvantage@shapiro.com. Now, here's what Shapiro will do, or here's what you're going to need to do if you're going to talk to Shapiro. The first thing you want to do is ask them to fax you or download, give you the place where it is, a getting started kit. They will do that, and it's got all these power attorney things. It's got the acceptance terms and all that. It's got that on the kit, which you're going to need to fill out. Now, let me take this, because it takes 2 to 3 weeks to get this done. So if you're thinking about, you got it all set up and you're going to ship out in the next week or so, forget about it, because it's going to take 2 or 3 weeks to get this set up. Once it's set up, there's no problem. But you need to be cognizant of that and well aware of that. You need to get this, if you're going to do this, you need to get this done and need to get this set up. So what you'll need, an account with Shapiro. And how do you get an account with Shapiro? You're going to have to sign a power of attorney. In other words, you're signing a thing saying that they have the power to represent you and that their word is the same as your word when it comes to going through customs and that. So that's what a power of attorney does. It's just like a legal power of attorney. If your folks or something like that get incapacitated and you have a power of attorney, that means that your word is the same as their word, and that's what you're going to have to set up with Shapiro. Now they're going to be in the same way with the other one. I know they are, because it has to be go through customs. So just remember that, and then you're going to have to accept the terms and conditions. Now I'm going to let you read those. I'm not going to go through those tonight, but you need to be aware of them, and you got to accept the terms and conditions. And then you're going to have to custom bond. This is an Amazon requirement, and it's a 1-year bond, and it's approximately, it seems to me it's up to $625 now. It seems to me like I paid when I started $500. It doesn't make any difference. It doesn't make, but anyway, it takes 2 to 3 weeks for that bond to go in, and they will not do anything until that bond goes into effect. So like I say, if you're in the process and you need to get things set up in that, you need to get on that and get that set up with Shapiro. So it's all set and done. So when you send them a quote, or when you send them, in other words, what you do is when you make your final arrangements with your manufacturer over there, they're going to tell you how many cases they've got, how many units are in each case, how many cases are on if it's going to be on a pallet or whatever it is, and you build that, you send that to Shapiro, and Shapiro will tell you exactly what your cost is going to be down to the penny to get that over here. The only exception, like I say, is they're going to, when they actually take charge, when they accept your thing from the manufacturer, they're going to reweigh it and they're going to remeasure. And so you want to make sure that you're absolutely right in what you tell them there, but otherwise it's going to go back and they're going to redo the quote. But if it's right on, then your quote's going to be exactly there. So so that's what you're going to need to get an account with Shapiro. So what will Shapiro do? So like I say, there's their website up above, and there is their email address. So feel free to copy that down. This just so what will Shapiro do? Now this is what they do. They're going to arrange for cargo pickup and finalize arrangements. So let me tell you this: they're going to arrange. If you tell them it's in whatever province, whatever city in China, they're going to have somebody go out to that facility, and they're going to inspect. They're going to make sure that the boxes are what they say they are. They're going to make sure that the product has its UPC on the label, which we teach you how to do. You're going to make sure that they're properly labeled, the case is properly labeled, and the pallets are properly labeled. And that's what they're going to do over there. They're going to make sure, because Amazon's got the rules that when you send a pallet in, each case in that each product has to be labeled, unless you're using commingled inventory, which a lot of times you're going to, and your private label, because there shouldn't be anybody else on your listing, so your UPC should be good. So you don't. But as far as the cases have to be labeled, and the pallet has to be labeled. There has to be a label on every side of the pallet. So far up, the pallets can only be so high, they can only be so wide, and all that. They will go through that. Shapiro goes through it and make sure that that's copacetic with Amazon's rules. They're going to make sure. They're going to make sure. Like I say, they take care of all this. They're going to obtain the bill of lading from the manufacturer, and that bill of lading has to be paid. And they're going to make sure of that. It's usually 2 days out, and you get your final bill. You pay that. Once you do that, then they transfer the ownership to you. And then Shapiro is going to process the import. They're going to process the importer security filing. So everything is, you want everything done while your product is on the water. That's all done, because what they actually do is, it's one more thing. We'll come to the next screen or something like that, but they're going to file with the with customs and all that, and tell them exactly what's going on. So they're going to hopefully get you pre-approved, so when that boat gets undocked, the product is already going to be pre-approved, so they can unload it and get it going right to FBA, because they did. So once the cargo, and we talked about this, once they collect the cargo, once the cargo is in Shapiro's hands, they're gonna reweigh it and remeasure to make sure that that's exactly what you said it was, and because that's what you're going to pay customs on, and everything else, and your freight and everything. They will work with the shipping company. They'll take care of all that for you. So they will probably pay it all, and then you just pay them one final bill. But that's the way it works. So Shapiro will, right here, make every attempt to pre-clear entry with customs. In other words, they want to make sure, as long as everything's right, you've got everything going, they'll do their utmost to make sure that you're pre-cleared with customs. So once the product docks, you can get that product off and get it into the loading docks river and get it on a truck and get those pallets sent to Amazon. So once cleared U.S. Customs, they will arrange delivery to the designated Amazon warehouse. Remember, because those labels are going to be on there. They know where they're going already, and they'll get them sent off, and that stuff goes right to Amazon and gets. You've already had it listed. You've already told Amazon what's coming. So it's just like any other product at this point. Amazon will, once it gets it in, will get it and get it listed within a couple hours, or whatever they've got to do. If they have to send some around, things, it depends on how you're going to set it. But basically, that's about it. Excuse me just a minute. I need a drink of water here. I told you I've had this sore throat today and everything, and so I need a drink of water. So that's basically what Shapiro does, and I presume that the other company is going to do it. I'm sure that, or Amazon wouldn't have it on. They're going to do it. Like I say, I've never used the other company, but I'm sure they're going to do exactly the same way, because this is the way Amazon wants it done. And so using that way, I don't know whether Amazon's in control, Shapiro's in control, but you pretty much are not in control, because you just not control. Shapiro arranged for the shipping and everything else. But there is a way you can do it when you're in control, and that's what we're going to talk about this. Now, I've done it this way. Do I recommend this way? I really believe going through the other way is a lot easier on you, because once you give the stuff, you give Shapiro the power of attorney to take care of it and all that. They take care of it, and you don't have to worry about it. That's the private label lifestyle, and that's the way. But you can, if you want to be in control and you want to sweat the small stuff and go through this is how you can do it. So what you do, here again, we're going to start with, you finished your thing with the manufacturer. You know how many cases, you know how many units, and you know how they've got it set up. And so you list that with not list it, you send it in, you arrange to send your inventory to Amazon. You know how to do that. You go to your listing and say, you arrange that, fill out the things right there, Amazon, and with whether you're going to send it by pallet, you're going to box this, how many units per box, and all that, do with Amazon. And they're going to give you the labels. They're going to give you the unit label if you need it. They're going to give you the case label if you need it, and they're going to give you the pallet label, which you definitely need. You're going to need all those. So what you do is you take those labels and you create a PDF of those labels. And what do? You send that PDF to your manufacturer. So those labels are put on the boxes before they ever leave China or wherever you're coming from. You want those on there. All right. So you've got those on. Now, there's nobody gonna think, but now let me explain too. When you get the pallet on Amazon site, when there's a little pop-up that comes up when you say you're sending pallets, and that tells you it's a PDF for you to send to your manufacturer, whatever, telling them in detail how to put the pallet labels on the pallets. You'll get that, so don't worry about it. How do I do it? It's going to be there when you said you're going to send pallets. There's a little pop-up that comes up, and you just download that as a PDF, send that to your supplier. All right. Now, that being said, you got all that done. You can arrange with the local forwarder to ship your product to the States. Like I say, you can ask your manufacturer. They do this all the time. I'm sure they've got a local forwarder that they would recommend that'll ship your products to the States. So you arrange with that local forwarder, ship your products to and they will arrange for your product to get put on the boat. It will arrange for your product to come across the sea, and they'll take care of everything up until the time it reaches the United States. So then you arrange with the U.S. customs broker to accept products and bring it through the customs. In other words, when it hits the West Coast, it's usually everything comes from China. Usually comes to the West Coast first. One of the California docks, and you arrange with your custom broker to accept from the China broker or whoever, and they will take control of it. They will pay your China broker. You, at least mine did, and I presume they'll do the same thing. They will pay the broker, and you just pay them one time, but they will pay the China one, and they'll bring it through customs. Okay, so once they bring it through customs, then you're going to have your U.S. broker shipped to designated Amazon fulfillment center. That's going to be on the PDF label that you got. So and they'll do it. They can do it. They've got it because it's going to come in the dock. It's going to come to their warehouse or wherever, and they're going to ship it out for you. They'll ship it right to the Amazon fulfillment center. So, and I put down here, Amazon shipping guides must be used. So that's the one reason I don't, because you, a lot of the people, how do I want to say this? They're going to tell you, yes, they understand everything, but if they haven't done to Amazon, because Amazon's got specific rules that they want when that product hits the market, just like they do when you send products in now. They want the same thing. They want to know exactly. They want to know what's in those cases, and they want to have it all set up so when it comes in, it goes right to the computer, it gets listed, and you're on your way. So I put it there. Amazon shipping guides must be used. So that's the end of the slideshow, and I hope that was self-explanatory. I don't want to get. Let's turn the showcase app off here. All right, and let's put the question answer page up here. There is a place for the question answers. Now I've got it up there, and I will be glad to answer any questions or anything else you've got. What can I tell you? That's the two ways to do it. Now, with that being said, I want you to understand there's other ways you can do it. Those are the ways I've done it. It worked for me. Like I say, out of all of them, I recommend going through Shapiro or the other company that Amazon, because that way you know, cost-wise, I don't think there's any more cost-wise one way or the other, but there's more than two ways to skin a cat. What can I tell you? So I'm gladly take questions up there. If you've got some questions, what can I tell you? I'm going to have some more water here. I say I've got that sore throat. So I see we've got some new viewers down here tonight, and I just welcome you to the broadcast. Like I said before, I'm going to talk a little bit about the course. You know that we originally set it up on the Totalpreneur network, and it's finally up there. Not quite where I want to, but we're going to have some special announcements next week about it. Nothing earth-shaking or something like that, but some neat stuff. We've got some neat stuff planned. Because it's kind of going to be a great platform. It's got all kind of different courses. They've got, well, I'm not going to go into that. We'll wait till next week because I can't give you a link to show you yet. They haven't got the links out. It's been a long story. So what can I tell you? So with that said, we got room for some questions up here. Like I say, what else can I say about it? It's no different. It's just a couple more steps than it is if you go out and do retail arbitrage, or you do wholesale, or you do anything else, and you send your product in. You do it. You just have to play. It's Amazon's game, like I've told you many times. So play by their rules. Don't try to bend them because they're not going to be bendable, and you're going to get stuck with your product being in limbo and everything else. So use theirs. They've got an excellent system set up where you print the labels out. Like I say, you just when you print them out from Amazon, you make a PDF of the label instead of actually printing it out. They consider, your in case you don't, there's a program called Qt PDF printer. You can download that to your computer. So when you go on Amazon and you hit the print up there, you choose the Qt PDF printer as the printer, and that will make it into a file. Once that file is, you send that file to your manufacturer over in China, Vietnam, wherever, Hong Kong, wherever they're at. You send that to do. They fix those labels, and there's instructions on there where the labels go on the pallets, where the labels go on the boxes, and everything else. You just and it's the problem is you're not going to be there to check it. So either that's what I like about Shapiro, and the other company, and I forgot their name right now, and I apologize. I should have wrote it down because Diversified. I don't remember what it was, but anyway. If somebody didn't get it, give me a question over here, and I'll go back to that slide, and so we get the other name in that. But basically, that's about it. There's no surprises. You don't want any surprises. You want that product to arrive at Amazon. You want it to get there so that it's not held or anything like that. It gets sent out. So within a couple hours of being Amazon, it's going to be listed on Amazon. I mean, be live on Amazon, not listed. You would have had it pre-listed, or you couldn't have made arrangements to send it in. You have to have it listed first. So I hope that explains that to it. It's not really complicated. It's just, what can I tell you? It's, like I say, it's Amazon ball game, and they want it done their way. You do it their way, you're not going to have a bit of problem. It's just like anything else. What can I tell you? Amazon does it, and oh man, nobody's going to ask any questions tonight, guys. What can I do? I can. We've got time yet. You don't want me to get up here and dance, or anything like that to feel. I'm not going to do. Don't worry about that. I say, don't feel too good tonight. So. So if nobody answers any questions, we will cut it short. But I'm willing to answer questions. Anything you'd like, anything about FBA, Amazon, shipping to Amazon, or anything, we will take questions for it. What can I tell you? Excuse me just a minute again. All right. So that's it. If nobody's going to ask any questions, we're going to end this because, like I say, my sore throat is getting kind of bad. I babysat my grandkids today, and not today, but was Monday, I guess, and Tuesday both. And the one wasn't feeling too good, and I think I got what he did or something. So, but my wife, she's giving me the vitamin C and taking care of me. So hopefully I'll be all right by tomorrow. So what can I tell you? But tonight I'm just a little bit hoarse, as you can tell by my voice, and so. What else can I say? Like I said, at the beginning, we talked about the Totalpreneur Network. The Institute for Totalpreneurship is the. I'm a founding faculty member of that, and that's where this course was originally supposed to go. But some things happened. They had some problems. They had the hurricane or typhoon over the Philippines and all that, which put things behind, and we're behind, but we're finally going to be live on that. We are live now, but I don't have the correct link to send you over there, so I'm not going to give it to you till next week. I'll give it to you next week, but like I say, we're going to do some neat stuff next week with concerning the course, and I'm not going to tell you what it is, but Okay, we said Jeff's having an issue asking questions. Select. Uh, Having an issue answering questions. Uh, Guys, Jeff, can you tell me what's wrong and see if I can do something from this side? Everything is, according to my thing, everything is where it should be. I don't know. Uh, I did get the one from Jeff Chisholm. I'm sorry. Uh, if you could just write me, tell me what the problem is, and I'll see if there's something I can do here. I don't know. It says having an issue asking questions. So I'll keep talking here. I don't know. Like I say, it's my gosh, it's raining outside now. I stopped talking there. I could hear it outside my window. The rain is really coming down. So what can I tell you? Anyway, Jeff, I'd love to answer your questions, but shoot, I don't know what to tell you. I can turn that. I can turn the questions and answers. I'll tell you what I'll do. I'll turn it off and turn it back on. Sometimes, I don't know, that's a lot of things with the internet, that's the way it works. So that takes it off. Now let's turn it back on. And there it turned back on. So try it now. See if that does. I know there's a little bit of delay between me speaking, or when you do it and it shows up there. There's a time delay, but hopefully it is. And I don't know what else to tell you. See, I didn't, hold on a minute. If the questions underneath, oh, here's a question. Hold on, here's Jeff's. Let me bring this up so everybody can see it. I have secured an agreement with a freight forwarder, and it was my understanding they were going to handle everything soup to nuts until my samples arrived. Do we need to proactively work with DL or Shapiro? No, you're just talking about your samples, that they were going to handle everything soup to nuts until we send samples to my samples arrive at my door. Do we need to proactively work with DHL or Shapiro? No, you shouldn't have to. If like I say, that's Amazon's recommended way. You can do it this way as long as you make sure that ETO Edo, I don't know how you pronounce it. It was that they were going to handle things from soup to nuts until samples arrive at my door, and that's fine. I presume these are going to be handed to your door, but the problem is they're coming to you, and the problem is make sure if they're going to handle everything and send it to Amazon that they know exactly what they're doing, because otherwise Amazon will refuse it, and you're going to end up paying double freight to get it back to you and then reship it and everything else. So no, as long as and that's the way I read what you're saying, is understand they were going to handle everything soup to nuts until my samples arrive at my door. So yes, no, that's fine, because they're not going to Amazon. The problem is you want to make sure all your ducks are in a row if they're going to Amazon. And when these are samples, so they're going to come to you. I hope that answers your question. Do we need to proactively work with DHL or Shapiro? No, definitely not. Not in that case, because they're going to go to you. If you're going to if they're coming to you, they don't have to be marked a separate way. They don't have to be labeled or anything else. They can just stick in a box and send it to you. That sample. But like I say, the problem is if they're going to Amazon, and that's what we teach in the course, is to have the stuff, not the sample. The sample's always got to come to you, but for the product not to come to you and then you relabel them and ship them out and all that kind of nonsense. You get the manufacturer will label them and ship them for you, and you get them so that your product goes right from the manufacturer to Amazon. So you don't ever have to touch it. You don't ever have to label it. You don't ever have to bag it. You don't have to do anything with it at all. You don't even have to touch it. A lot of my products I have never touched, and that's okay with me, and that's okay with my wife, because when we first started, I think I told you that they showed up at my door with 8 pallets of cutting boards which were, the Maxima High, and kind of filled my garage up. And my wife was not a happy camper. She didn't like that. So since then, we learned to send everything to Amazon. It's a heck of a lot simpler. My wife is a lot happier, and you don't have to worry about anything. So hope that answers your question, Jeff. If we got any more questions, we got time. I've got time. I'll be glad to answer them. What can I tell you? But like I say, the neat thing is when you're sending to Amazon, when you do use Shapiro or the other company, that they know what they're doing, and they're going to make sure, because to get that reputation and get recommended by Amazon, they have to make sure that they don't goof up. So they're going to check and double check to make sure everything's exactly the way it needs to be to go to Amazon. So like I say, you can get in there, and hopefully within a couple hours of being in Amazon and unloading, your product is going to be live on Amazon. Of course, if it's a reorder, well, your product should probably already be live. You still had some to them going in, because we recommend you don't run out of product. I've run out of product. It hurts and it smarts, but if it does, why, we can. There's a way to make hay while you're without a product. But and we've talked about that on some of these Google Hangouts and that. So one more time, I still see so many questions. So I'm going to talk to you. On the site, privatelabelselling.com. One more time, privatelabelselling.com. It's my website. There's all these Google Hangouts. They're listed right there. You can go on, listen to them anytime you want. There's no charge for them or anything else. If you want information on the course, it's on that website too. You can look at that, or like I say, you can just go and listen to the past Hangouts we got, and they're listed there by topics and what they are. So with that said, I think that's about it. Like I say, I'm losing my voice tonight, and I apologize for that. But wait, we just got another one. I'm sorry. Here, let's get this up. Select. This is from Jeff again. So, thank you. Long term, I wanted all to go directly. I just wanted to make sure that I wasn't missing a third party, and that the freight forwarder I am working with also handles the customs clearing coming into the States. Yeah, if they should, that should be fine. You should sometimes. The one time I've done that, one of the reasons I use the Chinese custom agent to bring it over is because the one place I got one of my products was in a far out province over in China, from what I understand. It, I'm no expert on China by any means, but was in a far out province, and the local thing didn't have anybody to send over there. So that's the reason we use the Chinese custom agents to send it to the States on the ship, and my agent took charge of it before it was unloaded and brought it through customs. So there's, like I say, there's more than one way to skin a cat. That works fine. You're doing fine, Jeff. Don't think you have a problem. So hang in there, man. And you got your samples coming. So I hope they are exactly what you want. Because that's exciting when you get your samples and you look at that. And I just got a product today, matter of fact, and I mentioned it last week. Is one of the students in my class have got their first product in there, and I'm going to tell you, it is sharp. I am so proud of them. I got it, and man, the label is nice. The product is packaged good. It looks good, and what can I tell you, Don Schaefer? If you and Bonnie are looking, you guys did a fantastic job. Proud of you. That's one good-looking product. So, okay, we got one more question here. Here we go. Who do you recommend as a freight forwarder? I would recommend Samuel Shapiro. Like I say, I've used one called EC, I think it's ECI, but they're out of Miami. That's the reason I use it. If you're not from South Florida, I would pick one, something close to you if you're anywhere close to a coast or something like that. But look in your yellow pages or on the internet, find something that's close to you that you can work with. Like I say, Samuel Shapiro is is the best way, because if you're going to send the stuff to Amazon, they know what you are. You just got to get that bond, but that's part of Amazon's requirements. But once you do that, man, your stuff is going to be there. It's just they're going to take charge of it. You don't have to worry about it. So who do you recommend as a freight forwarder? I recommend Samuel Shapiro, or the other ones I listed. If you and I don't remember the name. I should have wrote it down and I didn't. And I apologize. It's on the point slide. And let me. Okay, I'll tell you what. If we got time, give me just a minute. We've got another questions up here, and I'll go back to that slide and we'll look it up. It's my fault. I apologize. It should have been on the thing here. So here we got another questions. What form of payments do you recommend to non-Chinese suppliers? Ones who don't take PayPal or offer letters of credit for small amounts. I'm drawing a blank here. You go to your bank and you send them like oh man, I'm drawing a blank. What's it called? You go to the bank. That's one of the reasons I use Chase as my bank, because they don't charge for me to send money overseas. It's I forgot what it is. Not a draft, but in other words, you go to the bank, tell them you want to send the money over there. They send it over within 2-3 hours. It's all over there, and your principal, whoever your product has got it, they'll send you a receipt, and that's all the name. That's all there is to it. So okay, and that's the best way. You just you go to the bank and you send it to them. It's a boy, I apologize. I'm just drawing a blank right here, and it's any bank can do it. They can just send it. It's like a wire transfer or a wire. It's a transfer. They just transfer the funds into the other person's bank account. You get their bank account. It's transferred into their thing, and that's all there is to it. And so, hope that answers your question, Sean. Let me see. Here we got another question from Sean again. What was the name of the freight forwarder? If you give me a mention, I'm going to look in here and I can tell you. It's ECI, I think it is. Give me 1 second. Yes, here it is right here. It's let me get their address. It's ECI Custom Brokerage Incorporated. Let me get you their oh shoot. It's ECI Custom Brokerage Incorporated. Jose Camilo Lizarde is who I usually talk to. It's they're 2401 Northwest 69th Street. Boy, that's small. Miami 33147, and their phone number is 305-894-3691. And his extension is 3331. They're good people. I just really enjoyed working with them. You know, the receipt. And Jose is just he was excellent as far as I'm concerned. Here's what's a little bit right. The phone number one more time is 305-894-3691, extension 3331. And their fax number, if you want it, is 305-894-3701. And ask them, like I say, Jose Lizarde. Okay. Hope that answers your question. like I say, they're in Miami, and they did an excellent job for me. They brought some stuff over, and that's the one that I was telling you about that ended up in my garage, the 8 pallets. So my wife wasn't too happy about. But anyway, what can I tell you? Let me see. All right, so let's get that one done. We've got another one here, Sean again. Let's see what we got. Thanks for all the answers. Who do you recommend for package and logo design? I've been using 99 Designs.com and Fiverr. Got a good logo for my labeling, but wondered if you know something better. No, I think whoever you're comfortable with. I personally use Odesk, and I have a gentleman over in Pakistan that does all my labeling and everything like that. He's been doing it ever since I started. He kind of knows my preferences and that. But you know. I think find somebody you can work with, you understand, and after you do a couple jobs with them or something, a couple labels like that, they're going to know exactly, how you want it and what the style you want and everything like that. So find one you like. But I've heard a lot of good things about 99 Designs. I've just never used anybody from 99 Designs. I've either used Elance or Odex. Matter of fact, 99 Designs, when I first started, to the best of my knowledge, were not in existence. Maybe that's I'm not sure about that, but I don't think they were, or I probably would have known about it. But I've heard a lot of good things about 99 Designs and the forum. People use them and they work. So whatever works for you. But like I say, I use Odesk. I use a gentleman over in Pakistan that does. And I've also, for some of my pictures and all that, I've used graphic artists over in the Philippines, and I've kind of used them all over. But I try to stay with the same one that so they. They get used to me and I get used to them, and we've got no problem. So hope that answers your questions. Fiverr, I use Fiverr for a lot of different things too. And Fiverr is a good place. Just sometimes you kind of take your own, but take chances with Fiverr because I don't know. I've had problems with some of them, but at $5 you can get it redone. So you're not out a lot of money. But there's a lot of good people on Fiverr. It's just it's sometimes a little bit harder to do it. But with the Odesk, Elance, 99 Designs, I'm sure they give you the person's portfolio to look through it and know what kind of like. If you do modern art, you don't want somebody that's going to do all modern art. In the same way with the Gothic or whatever, you want to make sure that somebody that's going to like whose style you like. So what can I tell you? I hope that answers you, Sean. I'm going to take this off here. We've got a couple more minutes if anybody's got it. Like I say, and I'm surprised. I've got my voice is holding out. I say I've had a sore throat all day and didn't quite know if I was going to do it. Matter of fact, I'm feeling better now than when I did when I first started. So it must be getting all this stuff out or something like that. I don't know, but I'm feeling all right. So I'll be glad to go on. If anybody's got some more questions, put them up there. If not, why we will sign off of that. But I'm available. And Sean, we got to have lunch sometime if you're in Palm Beach Gardens. I'm in Stewart, which is just it's not even it's 20 minutes away. PGA Boulevard. I could be at PGA Boulevard in 20 minutes. I live right here by the Turnpike, not the Turnpike. Well, the Turnpike and 95 as you come up here in Stewart. So give me a private message. Maybe we'll have lunch sometime if that's all right, or something. If you'd like to, we can see about that. That sounds like fun. So well, what can I tell you? All right, I don't see any more questions, so if we don't have any questions, I'm going to I usually stall because I realize that when you put a question in, it takes a couple minutes for that to get up there. The time delay on this thing is not exactly the greatest, but what can I tell you? I have to like Google Hangouts. So here we got another question, Sean, again. Let's see what he says. Do you think Amazon is going to clamp down on reviews in exchange for free product? No, I don't think so. Like you say, you got to make sure when you ask for that review, and you give them the product, or you give them a discount on that, you make sure you don't ask for a 5-star review. Amazon will clap down sooner than anything else. But there's no different product than Amazon knows this goes on. It goes on in the business world outside all the time. When Procter and Gamble or something like that comes out with a new product, they're going to give it to a group to get their feedback on it and everything else before they send it out to the rest. And basically that's what you're done. And Amazon realizes that, and I don't think there's a problem. I don't think there are. As soon as I said Amazon might change it tomorrow, unfortunately they won't. Nobody's talked to me about being on Amazon's board. If they would, I probably would go on. What can I tell you? No, I don't think their Amazon's going to clamp down as long as people don't start abusing it. And that's what really bothers me. Like I say, there's a couple of those forums out there that I kind of not closely watch, but I watch, and I've signed up for it. And boy, there's a lot of garbage going on those forums. So I just caution you to do your due diligence. What more can I say? And I'm not going to sit here and I'm not going to criticize anybody or anything else, because they've got the right to say what they want. But just make sure that if you're going to take somebody's advice, it's somebody that you know and you fairly trust. So what can I tell you? I think it's going to be fine. Like I say, as long as it doesn't get abused, and I'm sure it's going to get abused, but as long as and Amazon knows that. But as long as it doesn't get greatly abused, I think you're going to be fine, because those reviews help Amazon too, because the more reviews you get, the more product you're going to sell, and the more product you sell, the more money Amazon makes. So it's a two-edged sword over there. So I think you're fine. So all right. What can I tell you? We're getting down there. Like I say, if you got the questions, I'll stay. But if not, we're going to. This whole thing will be recorded. I'm not going to do it tonight. I told you I don't feel that good. But tomorrow I will get it listed on my website, privatelabelselling.com. Or as far as that goes, this is going to be listed on with the same link that you used tonight. You can access the thing tomorrow. It's going to be on Google Hangouts. It's going to be on my YouTube channel. It's going to be there. You can watch it anytime you want. It's public, and what can I tell you? So with that being said, I think it's about time that I'm going to sign off tonight. I really appreciate you guys. Appreciate the ones that have hung in there. I know some people have left, and some people are still here. And I hope I answered all your questions good, and hope you had a good time. And I look forward to it. So what can I say? Until next Thursday night, I bid you goodbye, and have a good week. What can I tell you? Bye bye.